Tonight on Art Traveler, we travel to Long Beach, California to check out an art exhibit aimed at offering the community access to 5 forward-thinking artists. The 5 artists selected by curator George Mujica reflect a process of creating that is centered around self-driven ideas. The result is an experience that evokes natural curiosity. George describes the show. The attitude showcases in the exhibition display a mastery of materials that can only be understood through repetition and experience. We will also be traveling to the artist's workspace to get an in-depth interview collecting their thoughts about their perceived artwork.
My name is Andrew Kay Thompson. When I discovered photography after a broken leg, I chased it like a dream and a dragon, and keep chasing it. And now a lot of it is about pulling it apart as I pick through the carcass of photography as a medium.
Andrew Kay Thompson's promiscuity with materials has led him to critically engage photography, transforming its foundation into sculptural photo objects and challenging our experiencing of photography.
I have a Miles Davis belief, learn the notes and then forget them. Not just forget them, vehemently thrash them and throw them away as much and often as you can. This is a bunch of different photo sensors. And these sensors read the amount of light or shadow that falls upon them. They translate that information, that analog information, to digital numbers, 0 to 255. And then each one of those numbers is assigned a particular sound.
His artistic practice consists of simultaneously pulling apart and mending the seams of the photographic medium. He explores the perforated edges where technology meets alchemy to produce sculptural photo objects that contradict and expand upon the traditional use and function of a photographic image.
I have this term called the decisive distraction, and it's about what you're the most distracted by, that you love so much that everything else just falls away from importance. I think when you come to a certain familiarity with a craft or with a technique, it becomes stagnant and you don't challenge yourself more, push farther.
Nano Rubio's work is about the interplay between figural elements and environment. Specifically, he shows interest in the way fragmented information is digested. This set of interests provides the lens through which he sees the world and is the driving theme behind his art practice.
My name's Nano Rubio. I live on planet Earth. And I paint. When you see my work, you'll kind of see a little bit of figurative work, a little bit of line work, and a lot of flesh tones and hues that kind of deal with blood. And I'm pointing to like the idea of hard and fast. Digital space, I read it as lines of code. I read it as the recording of the artist across the canvas. I don't have any plans when I go in. I just start painting. I mean, I'm just making decisions on the canvas as far as like space, placement, color, trying to balance things out to where it's not too, in my mind, commercial, but then also pushing the idea of what paintings can be.
He expresses perspective through painting, and images can be read as abstract allegories about the fate of human touch within the technological environment.
For me, I'm fracturing the background and the foreground, and I'm trying to weave the figure into the background and foreground. There's artists out there that are really complacent in what they're doing, and they're pumping out paintings that are very similar, and it's working, and that's cool. That's their goal or whatever. But for me, I think I just always have to look at new ways of making paint.
Patrick Ahern turned to fiber art because yarn has many colors, textures, and many effects can be achieved with different stitches.
I feel it's the original 3D printer, so I can make anything that I want. I can make that picture. Like I can paint with it. Like it can do different stitches and make kind of like the world of the hair and stuff like that. So that's what was really, that really, sealed it for me. Like I don't even know, I'm making clothes for women. I don't know what they were. I have no idea. I don't know what they like. So, I mean, this stuff was for me. This was for me.
His manner of weaving raw material uses conventions of crochet to map out and graph composition related to his interests.
And I'm not like the best crocheter in terms of like speed and like knowing what I'm doing. It's all trial and error. Like it's like I have to relearn things. Like, oh yeah, I did that last time. I completely forgot. Like this is how you're supposed to do it. So I mean, you're constantly learning and relearning. But you can do a lot of mathematical equations with crochet because it's three-dimensional. It's numbers. It follows kind of it has a foundation, but you can build on it, or you can take away from it.
Crochet has its foundation in pattern and is a great medium for freeform, like music. Naturally, working with fiber has its own rhythm and repetition.
The problem that I had was that my patterns don't work in a straightforward way. Most patterns are. You work in a straightforward way, like this is the row that you start on. This is the next row. This is the next row. My patterns go like this, go back, go. So it's kind of crazy. It doesn't really make any sense. I just feel like it's such a labor of love. Like I don't even care what happens to it. I just wanted to do it.
Ching Chen was born in Taipei City, Taiwan. Ching is influenced by personal experiences and is especially attuned to differences between Asian and Western culture. Her work gives an intimate and personal account of her experiences while simultaneously encouraging the viewer to recall their own.
I always liked art when I was little, but I never had a chance to actually pursuing the artist career when I was in Taiwan. I think because of just family backgrounds and then the education program in Taiwan, it was not so flexible.
Psychological conditions are her main practice, with various approaches using mixed mediums and found objects through drawings, paintings, sculptures, and installation.
They are sculptural work with materials that exploring identities. I think that's very interesting to me, the concept of this, even though you're doing the same thing or you look the same, but somehow what you put on this apron or you have a child next to you, and that just totally becomes your identity is different, that people see you differently. Just the sentence of I am a mom, but I'm also an artist, and just a lot of time this becomes like being a mom is actually a full-time job. I think I can't wait for him to get a little older and then to play art. That was fun. That will be fun. And I think I would like to take him back to Taiwan and to experience the life there. And I also wanted to go back and see if I can be an artist there, because I think it's a very different experience I will have.
Robert Grad's experience with music and art started in high school when he signed a record deal in 1989 with RCA Records. His art now contrasts the feelings experienced with adulthood and the nostalgia of childhood by poetically transforming materials and combining techniques.
The process can be really ugly, frustrating, demoralizing, exciting, like it's all the emotions run through, because every swipe of a brush or every little moment, something's either getting better or it's getting worse.
Exploring the complexity of this purification process, he fuses together layers of unconventional objects and textures with more traditional art materials.
I wanted to return to that excitement about what I do as an adult, and that's what this work is about. This is about recovering that. It's about reclaiming that spark and that beautiful excitement about creating, but from a much wiser adult perspective, and how those two things mix.
Robert Grad's main statement is that we begin as children, innocent and pure. As we move into adulthood, we feel the imperfections around us and within ourselves.
That's why the toys and the kid and the blocks, like all that, that's part of the theme that's running through it all, is sort of that abandon and everything we have as kids. We're clueless. It's so easy to as an adult, we become realistic and we become rational and we become, like all these things in our daily existence. And I'm looking for in my life and in this work that balance of like, how can I get to that place where I'm not worried about all that stuff anymore, I'm just excited, and yet there's depth that as a young person I didn't have, because I didn't have the experience to back that up. When I'm communicating a concept or an idea, these are about freedom, these are about internal freedom, breaking boundaries and moving to a new place, when someone else gets it, and you see them, they're like, it's like talking to you, but way better.